we headed into Memorial Day weekend with one of the most talked about races on the calendar every year, the Monaco Grand Prix. And like every year of recent memory, we leave talking about what a waste of time those 2.5 hours were. It's lights out, and away we go for episode 178 of the Eaton Asphalt podcast. All right, Ian. I think I just gave away how I thought the race Sunday went, but did you have any differing thoughts, maybe?
I do. I'm gonna save it for my TikTok take. So I'm gonna leave you.
Oh, leave me hanging a little
Yeah,
bit.
I'll leave you. It's called a teaser. You tease the people. They're sticking in. It's all about retention, baby. We're YouTube geniuses and Spotify geniuses. We know the algorithm. So I'm gonna hold. I'm gonna hold off and
You
tickle
tease me. You tease me.
you, tickle you. You get into your hot lap recap.
All right. Yes. Like Ian said, so we have the Monaco Grand Prix recap as well as the Barcelona Grand Prix Grand Preview on this episode. So starting off with our recap, we have our hot lap recap. Starting off on quals, Stroll was having a lovely Friday and Saturday where he jumped out in front of Charles on Friday, causing a crash. And on Saturday, he blocked off Pierre Gasly going into the chicane, ruining his lap time. His excuse, he thought that the Alpine was one of the Ferraris and that the sun made it too hard to see who it was. There's nothing he can do. Hands are tied there. Probably should have happened to a lot more drivers, in my opinion. We ended Q1 with a bang with Kimi crashing his Mercedes and ending the session. He was able to move on to Q2, where he started P15 on Sunday. Mercedes continued their unfortunate Saturday with George having a car failure prior to getting a lap in, causing him to start right in front of his teammate in P14. With two Mercedes out in Q2, this created some opportunities for the middle of the pack teams, and they took full advantage of it. Ocon and Lawson finishing P8 and P9 respectively, and to the surprise of many, Isaac Hadjar finishing P6. Lewis got a three-place grid penalty for jumping out towards Max, moving him back from P4 to P7. His engineer basically was telling him, hey, Max is slowing down, you're good, when in fact he was not at all. So chalking it up, another Ferrari strategy. Number one, hometown hero Charles Leclerc had pole until he didn't, where Lando squeaked by taking P1. Onto the race on Sunday. McLaren fans were sweating off the start with Lando locking up hard in turn one, giving us PTSD flashbacks from so many races that I can name off, too many to name off. A few turns later, Boratello crashes his car as Kimi snuck in to pass him, the one and only overtake of this race Sunday. Gasly rammed his Alpine in the back of Yuki's car, ending his race at lap 9. George was losing his patience over the ever so slow Albon, passing him off the track through the chicane. George decides to take a penalty rather than give the spot back, expecting it to be a 5-second penalty and not the 20-second drive-through penalty that they ended up giving him. Kimi saw that and said, you know what, teammate, that looked really cool. I'm going to do the same thing. Passes Albon through the chicane, but instead of doing that, he gave the spot back. We ended with Lando holding off Charles for the final quarter of the race or so, just while Max bottles everyone up, praying for another luck of the Irish red flag for him. Of the top 7 finishing drivers, we had one change with Lewis passing Isaac Hadjar, excluding Fernando Alonso not finishing this race. That does it for the hot lap recap. I think you're going to, I wanted to finish with this, but it sounds like you're going to talk about it on the TikTok takes. Any changes to Monica that you see fit?
That's a perfect. You're like teeing me up for my.
Oh, come on.
All right, TikTok takes. This is where we spout off. We sound off in the comments, and this is our yeah. Let's just get into it. So I have 2 takes.
Okay.
First off, for a Monaco race, this was an all right race to watch. The new added element of having 2 pit stops mandatory meant there was some fuddling with the team strategies, drivers holding up other drivers. But if you've been watching F1 for a long time, you know how boring this race can be. And the reasons I thought it was entertaining was like there was a total difference of strategies. There were soft tires, hard tires, medium tires. There's like super spread out, so everybody would seem like they were on a different strategy. That team game, like while it didn't necessarily provide for the most action and it seemed frustrating that people were like getting backed up a lot, I do think like it was just interesting to watch. It's like, oh yeah, this team like Red Racing Bulls are playing in probably the best team game I've ever seen, like on a racetrack, and they're taking the most advantage of like a great qualifying from Isaac. George Russell cutting the chicane was entertaining, and then we saw like a 4 or 5 second differential on lap times, which I thought was interesting too. So if you're annoyed at how boring this race is, I do get it, but I think like I went into it being like I know this is boring. So I had like such low
Mhm.
expectations where I was like, this was an interesting thing. Like it's not going to be a Formula E where you have like I think it was like 100 overtakes in Monaco. Formula E is doing something right, but this like two pit stop race was interesting, and I hope they keep it. And I hope next year it's 3 stops, and I hope they keep going until we get just a badass crazy race. My second take is because of the aforementioned Formula E, F1 drivers need to race in Formula E cars at Monaco. I think that is the easiest change to make. Pitch it as it's environmentally friendly. We're talking about environmental sustainability. If you're a hardo that's like, no, we race like the gas. Like I get it. Make it a sprint then. Like at least do like Sunday morning before the race. Have a sprint race. Give us like 20 laps. Formula E cars. Everybody's dancing around each other. I've never, little caveat, I've never seen the Formula E race, so I don't know
What?
if this is even true, or I don't know how it works. I don't know how you get 100 overtakes and races. Sounds crazy. Like it sounds like everybody's just like using their boost past each other. Again, not an expert, but make them race in a Formula E car. I think that's the biggest no-brainer that I've had. Like Formula E car races in Monaco.
I do agree with a lot of the things you said. I took this race. I saw a perfect meme for this. It's Monaco every other year. A guy just straight up step one, stepping onto like one of those rakes and hitting himself in the face.
Yep.
Monaco 2025. He like looks like he's like skateboarding down a ramp and then ends up stepping on that rake, hits him in the face. It's just elongated the expectation.
Yeah.
It created craziness in the beginning, but that craziness led to nothing. Not even craziness. I wouldn't even say craziness. I would say confusion.
Yeah.
Because of the strategy, it was very, very hard to understand where people actually were. If you're looking at the actual race, so many people, blue flags waving everywhere, which I'll talk about a little later, but it proved not to help the end result of
My
one
thing is that
overtake
yeah.
the
Yeah.
entire race.
My thing is give me confusion over boredom. Like boredom
Yeah.
is a tough thing and it's hard to defend. And there's only so many times I can look at a yacht in the yacht row and be like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice. There's only so many times you can do that. It's 70 some like rate 70 some laps in the race. Like there's you can't do that the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get it. Like I'm with you. It wasn't an awesome race, but for Monaco, I thought it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now we can't do the same thing next year. Like we got to spice it up again
That's what
next
I was
year.
going to say. I very much appreciate them acknowledging the issue at hand and attempting something. Hey, didn't work, caused a little bit different, but on to the next idea.
Absolutely. Yeah. Get these ideas cooking. And George Russell said you get to turn on the sprinklers, right? You get to
I
turn on
do
the
love that.
sprinkler once every race or quality session. I think that's a great idea. I think, yeah, we've talked about the blue shell in Mario, some kind of thing where digitally you get to shut down the person in first place's car for like 4 or 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Love that idea. Banana peels, I'm all for it. Anything you want to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. I'd like, so I have two kind of similar ones. One, I legit think that this would work. I'm going to wait till the end. The other one, I think that like every team gets one time to pick a driver in front of them that they are mandated to do a drive-through penalty.
Okay. Or,
So
yeah,
like George Russell, infuriated by Ox Albon holding them up on purpose, he goes, "Hey, take him in the pits. I'm using my one. Get him out of there. I can get some clean air and move forward."
I like that.
Strategically, you can wait to see. Like if a team's smart enough, they wait till the end and they say, "Hey, you know, Lando, I'm Charles Leclerc. Lando's in front of me. Piastri's behind me. Odie used his bummer. Let's go. This is the win."
What about if you set, okay, what about if you set the fastest lap of the race so far, you get one blue flag to use. on the person in front of you. They have to
Yes.
lay it
Okay.
through.
Yes.
Okay?
All right. I like that. We're workshopping.
This is
Yep.
what I don't understand why we're not hired by Formula One. I think we could
Yes.
really bring an extra pizzazz to that whole boardroom. But
All right. The other one I have, I legit think this is pretty good.
okay.
However you place in quals, the person who finished behind you gets two, and there's no two stop rule because I think this takes away from the strategy. Whoever finished behind you gets to pick the set of tires you start out with, and
I love it.
you could look out, and you have a teammate behind you, and they're going to be like, all right, give them the best tire possible. But if you don't, and maybe that brings a little strategy into quals, and you're Lando and you're in front, I can't pick anyone in front of me. I'm screwed. Charles, he's like, hey, one stop strategy. We always think it's going to be a soft to medium. You're taking hards, buddy.
And they don't know what tire it is until
The
they
day, like
until
hour
lights
before,
out.
you have to
Dude,
like
no, just
present your things.
lights out. The blankets come off and they're like, "Oh, I'm on softs."
Like the Ferrari team is putting the tires on the McLaren car.
All right, good stuff. Now let's get on to our my favorite segment, who ate asphalt.
All right, who ate and who ate asphalt? I'll start her off. I'm going to say who ate. Obviously, Lando Norris gets a hot new girlfriend, and what better way to show off to your new lady than winning Monaco? So I think it's a 2 for 2. Fantastic weekend for the lad.
Yeah. Um, quite the sight.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful heart.
Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful to see young
Just
love
such a
in
good
that form.
personality. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, her
Great
Instagram is
personalities.
just filled with personality. All right, who else? I'm gonna go with Ferrari. It was tough as a Ferrari fan. It looks like we were just like so close in qual Saturday. Like him, a couple of potential attempts on Sunday to try and pass. Obviously, you have to be 3 seconds faster to pass someone in Monaco. Crazy, but a P2 and a P5, massive improvement from what we've seen recently. So, albeit kind of a bummer, good finish for them.
Yeah. I agree.
And then my last eight, someone you kind of alluded to, two teams actually, Williams and RB, both teams very hated for their strategy, which was frustrating for probably most fans and most every other team. But it's a strategy that worked, purposely driving slow to create a pit window for their teammate. By doing so, both teams had both of their drivers finish in the points. So annoying strategy that works.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how you win, just that you win. And in their case, winning is
Winning
getting a
is
couple points.
getting some kind of points.
Isaac Hadjar, sixth place. That needs to be commended. We had to take last time, or one of the last times that we recorded, put him in the Red Bull. Keep building his confidence up, and I don't see why not, dude.
Yeah, I mean he's been looking a little better than old Yuki. Yeah,
I will say, all
uh,
right, I will say they got to stop with the like Racing Bulls specifically has to stop with the social media. It's way too much. And they're making their drivers look like dorks and they're not. Like I like Liam Lawson, I like Isaac Hadjar. They look like total dweebs. And it's 100% because it's like Racing Bulls has like a 17-year-old social media coordinator. And they're like, I saw this TikTok trend and you have to do it
you
now.
have to do it at all times whenever
What
everyone.
like there has to be something in the contract for the next Racing Bulls driver to be like, I get veto power over every single social media idea that you have.
Yeah, tough. I mean, winning on the track, losing on. I guess I'd take that. That does it for my who ate. Anyone I left off?
No, you covered mine. It was going to
Uh,
be mostly just Isaac Hadjar. I think he is just crushing it. He's
mhm.
10th. He's 10th in the drivers championship right now. 15 points puts him at 10th, which is way higher than he should be. So,
Yeah,
yeah, good on
good on
him.
him. Good rookie. Rookie of the year, maybe. All right, who ate asphalt? I'm going to go start off with Fernando Alonso. On Saturday, finished pretty strong, obviously, saying how much he loves this track on Saturday. Like P7 finish, it's just like what a magical track, what a magical place. And then turn to Sunday, just screaming at his engineers throughout, then the finishing his race at lap 38. So that was a tough 24-hour turnaround.
Yeah. What a roller coaster that sport is. And he's like, I love driving in this place. It's like the place doesn't love you back, brother.
Yeah, spoke too soon. Maybe you
Yeah.
wait till after Sunday afternoon.
Joke's on you.
My others are going to be the like the flag people. I said this earlier with the two stopper, early pit for a number of drivers because of the yellow flag very early on. Just mass confusion as a viewer, still having the screen of who's in place. The amount of drivers are like, hey, why aren't they throwing the blue like flag? Where like, can we get the blue flag? It's because that was probably as confusing of a situation as possible. There's probably like, hey, blue flag here, none, yes, no, yes, probably throughout like 10, 15 laps. So they probably had their work cut out for them and probably deserved a bonus.
Yeah. I like putting the out really fast and then taking it back
Yeah,
and then
just
putting it out
like pointing at
again.
the one guy, not you, him. Yeah. Yep. So tough for them. Obviously, Mercedes bad Saturday, Lisa bad Sunday, no points. But on a bright note, at least George got a free meal out of it from his boys. So good on him.
I don't know if you saw when I mean, they did get dinner later
Mm-hmm.
and they had the receipt
Yep. I
and the
tried
receipt,
zooming in on that. Yeah.
yeah, receipt was strategically folded to
Mm-hmm.
not be able to give you like the subtotal.
Yeah.
I'd pay $10 to be like, show me what that was. Show
Dude,
me how
I
expensive that
zoomed in on that. I bet everyone zoomed in on that. Like, what are we
is.
working with here?
What we
Because
work with in
I don't know
Monaco.
if it. I would like to see. I could see like Albon be like, "Hey, come on, like you're getting like $25," and it'd be like between the two of them like $80 meal, or it's going to be like 3,500. There's not going to
Yeah.
be like a $300 meal. They're like, oh, that's fair. Okay.
Yeah. No. You think he
Uh,
tips well? Alex Albon tips well, I bet.
oh yeah, I think he is. Yeah,
Who's the
yeah.
worst tipper on the grid?
Lance Stroll. I don't think he tips.
He stiffs him. He just never got taught. He's never had to
Uh,
tip before.
dude, yeah. If they say something, they're like, "We'll bring your restaurant to the ground. We'll see. We'll tie you up in so much lawsuits. You're screwed, buddy." My last one, I mean, we talked about it. Fans, two stop change didn't really have much of a spark that I was hoping on. I guess I didn't have the high expectations, but didn't have a spark that there was potential to have. So,
Yeah.
who ate asphalt?
Yeah. Definitely some asphalt eaters with the fans. Also, Alpine, for me,
Mm,
kind of big
hmm.
losers
Yeah.
in asphalt eaters. Colapinto got up to 13th, but when you consider like I think there were some people that dipped out behind them. So yeah, them and then obviously there's Mercedes having what we talked about horrible luck with it was just basically where they were. If they were anywhere else, they might have had a different race, but they got
Yeah.
screwed.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Toto Wolf
Uh,
yelling at James Vowles.
yeah. It's like you were my boy. You used to be my
Yeah.
boy, dude.
James Vowles
Uh,
is acting, yeah. It's as if Toto wouldn't do the exact same thing.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm supposed to. I mean, this is not like a RB Red Bull situation where it's like
Yeah.
I'm obliged to help you out.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, that does it for our 8-8 asphalt. Let's move on to our gambling predictions recap. But before we get there, we have a new sponsor alert. I think we might have used them before. This part of the podcast is brought to you by Christian Mingle. Christian Mingle is the premier dating app that will pair you with the woman or man of your prayers. The difference between Christian Mingle and those other apps is we don't just find your perfect match, we give you your two best matches, that perfect little someone and the Lord Himself. Take it from this weekend with recent follower Lando Norris decided to give himself to the Lord and join our cause. We paired him with Magui Corsiero, a young lady with a chest filled with two massive loads of love for the Lord. This was perfect timing too, as this weekend was prime for Lando fumble. Lap one, turn one, you see a pit of smoke from his tires locking up, or so everyone thinks. But if you look as close as you possibly can, you will see that smoke wasn't from the tires, but it was a tiny, tiny burning bush. The Lord was there, keeping this man's Monaco dreams alive. If it was any other driver, even we couldn't take credit for this, but we'd chalk it up to skill, handling the pressure the right way. But this is Lando Norris, king of turn one blunders. There is no explanation outside of the Lord Himself. So join Christian Mingle, get yourself a girl with a beautiful assembly of crosses, and start winning today.
Thank you, Christian Mingle.
And moving on to our gambling predictions recap. All right. Gambling predictions. I held my own. McLaren quali winner minus 150. Saw some value in that. Tuning is there. Quali winner Williams minus all the top five teams. Did not get that. Thanks a lot, Isaac Hajar. I think a couple other drivers actually in front of them too. So did get that. 1-1 record on the year, 6-10, 3.84 units in the red. Moved up a tiny bit.
Lost all three bets, went down 2 units. I'm now 5-13 on the year, and about 6 units down, 5.92. It happens. You don't make money gambling. Anybody in Monaco will tell you. That's why the residents aren't allowed to go to the casino, brother.
They're trying to help you. They're trying to be your friend, and we just didn't listen.
Yep. Anyway, all right, let's move on to our Spanish Grand Preview in Barcelona, Catalonia. In Catalonia, Spain, we find this beautiful track that looks a bit like a pinhead flexing its muscles. It's a track that was held, or that has held an F1 race every year since 1991. 14 turns on this beautiful track, 2 DRS zones. It is a shorter track, so we'll run about 66 laps. There is not a ton of overtaking on this track historically, but it's a perfect time to run this track because it's undoubtedly going to be more than Monaco. They used to test here in the winter before they started testing in Bahrain, but because of that, a lot of drivers are familiar with this track. Has a bit of everything, good mix of high and low speed corners. Turn 3 is my favorite. It's really fun, long and challenging right-hander. It's going to test the car's balance, going to test the car's downforce packages. So keep an eye out for some spins there, for some overzealous, downforce, low downforce packages. We're going to see a lot of overtaking, but the overtaking we're going to see a lot of it between turn 16 and turn 1 on that main straight. It's the longest straight with a DRS zone, makes a perfect spot for drivers to make a move there. As far as weather's concerned, we're high 70s, low 80s, and sunny all weekend. So weather's not going to play a part in this one much at all. But all that leaves us is for the driver's skill to shine through. So that is our Grand Preview for the Barcelona Grand Prix. Spanish Grand Prix, Barcelona Grand Prix, Catalonia Grand Prix. Take your pick. It doesn't matter. At least it's not what was the last one?
Emilia.
Emilia Romagna, Familia d'Italia, made in Italy, blah, 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 blah. This is just Spain. We'll call it Barca.
Love it. All right. Moving on from our Spanish Grand Preview to our country fun facts. All right, Ian, you are on a straight hot streak. I'll leave it up to you if you want to start or for me to start.
I'll start. I have 3 as normal.
Okay.
So these are 2 truths and a lie, educating the listeners about the country. Oh, I like how you're locked in. Look at you. You got so locked in. All right. My 2 truths and a lie. We have women, rope, and the Pope. So women, this is all strictly, what's the biggest thing when you think of Spain? You think of Spain, what do you think of?
Spanish.
Keep going.
Paella.
Keep going.
Beaches.
Keep going.
Soccer.
Bullfighting. So
No, that was my next one.
okay. Women in the ring, while bullfighting has been male dominated predominantly, women have been a part of the tradition for over a century. Figures like Conchita Cintrón and Cristina Sanchez have broken barriers, with Cintrón defying bans to become a legend in the 1940s and 50s. Number 2, rope. In order to increase excitement and animus during a bullfight, a rope is used to tightly tie the testicles of the bull in order to anger the bull and avoid a toro perezoso or lazy bull. And number 3, the Pope. Bullfighting was banned by the Pope in 1567. Pope Pius V banned bullfighting and threatened excommunication for participants and even refused church burials for those who killed in the ring. Which one's the lie? Women, rope, or the Pope?
I'm going to go with one of the rhymes, the Pope.
The Pope is true. The Pope did ban bullfighting in the 16th century.
Then I'm going to go with women.
Women is true. Ropes are used for bull riding in the States.
That's what I assumed. I've been to a rodeo, and I was like, they use them for the horses to really knock them up.
That's why they that's why they're bucking. But yeah, bullfights and toro perezosos, like the lazy bulls, are a thing. Sometimes they get a bull out there, and the bull's just like, no, dude, not today. I'm not chasing your little stupid cape, and then they just have to kill it.
You got me again. You're dominating this. Let's see if I can retain something out of this. Here I go. All right, mine is going to be church, sandwich, bars. It is said that the Sagrada Familia took so long to build because Gaudi designed the church so that each stone had to be blessed individually before being placed, a process that added decades to the timeline. Sandwich. Spain is part of the world's first Earth sandwich. In 2006, two slices of bread were placed simultaneously on opposite sides of the globe, one in Spain and one in New Zealand, forming a little literal sandwich with the Earth as the filling. And to be honest, I'm thinking Spain and New Zealand. Didn't think that they're on the opposite side, but I digress. Spain has more bars per inhabitant than any other European country. Andalusia alone has many bars as Ireland, Denmark, Finland, and Norway combined. Bars contribute to around 15% of Spain's gross domestic product, which might seem incredible, but it is true. So, church, sandwich, bars.
I'll go with bars. There's more. Yeah, give me bars.
Bars is true.
Bars is true. Dang, I would have thought England would have had more bars. I guess they have a lot of people there. Uh,
I did say Ireland, Denmark, Finland, Norway,
yeah.
not England.
Oh,
Just want to
okay.
make that clear.
Then give me the Sagrada Familia, the church.
That is false.
That is false. Blessing
Yes.
every stone in retrospect sounds crazy.
But it did take a long, 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 long time.
Fair enough. All right, well, let's wrap up with our predictions and gambling. Looking forward to the Spanish Grand Prix. All right, my gambling here, pretty simple. Oscar top two, that's at minus 200. I'm going to put 2 units on it, do a little double unit special. I feel like he's either going to win or he's going to follow up Lando. But yeah, give me top two there. And then I'm going to go yes safety car. It's at minus 115. I feel like somebody's going to spin out or some reason there's going to be a safety car. So give me full safety car, minus 115 at 1 unit.
All
Mark.
right, on. All right, I'm going to go Isaac Hajar, top 10, keep that hot streak, plus 160, half a unit there. Williams, double top 10 finish, minus 120, 1 unit there. So both teams coming off, feeling pretty good. Let's keep that trajectory, fellas. Let's make me some money.
Right on. Any wild cards?
I don't know. I did win the last wild card. So
Well, you didn't mention it when we were talking about it, so
do we haven't told the listeners. We did talk about it early in the season, before the season started. The winner of a wild card, the loser has to do the ring of death.
I don't remember that. I don't know if the listeners remember that. We'll see if the listeners remember.
I mean, we again didn't mention this to the listeners.
We'll see if the listeners remember that.
Oh, all right. So we're not doing ring of death this year?
I don't even know. You have to remind me what that even is, but no.
Yeah, remember it was like 10 punishments, and we spin a wheel, and whatever it lands on, you got to do.
Oh yeah. All right. We'll see about it. I'll ask the listeners.
Listeners, let's come together. They're pretty good punishments. I'm telling you, I've been working on them all day.
All right. Any wild card predictions?
All right, wild card prediction. I'm gonna go Lance Stroll top 5.
I'm gonna go Max Verstappen podium.
No,
I'm gonna go
no,
Fernando Alonso top 8.
no.
Fernando Alonso top 5.
Top 4, and we have a deal.
No, dude.
Top
Fine.
4. All right.
Fine.
Yes. Swindle
All
you
right.
down.
We'll see you on the other side of the Barcelona Grand Prix. See you, assholes.
Hey, thought you could leave without saying goodbye.
I used to say I lived my life a quarter mile at a time. And I think that's why we were brothers. Because you did too.